Today we return to the world of Will Profane, but how will he react to finding out that he's a fictional character, and can he solve the murder of his creator? This is Profane number 2.
I'm a geek. I use my bubbles when I speak. I'm a freak because she's a seed out for me. I'm unique. There is only one of me. I'm complete, so I really don't care what you think of me. I'm a geek.
Hello there, Comic Clan, and welcome to Comics in the Cross-Stick of various streamers and YouTubers that you've never heard of. I am Cross, and today we are looking at Profane number 2 from Boom Studios. But before we get started, if you are enjoying the content from Comics in the Cross, please be sure to go and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos from us. And also go ahead and click that like button as well. That really does help us out in the YouTube algorithm, and we really do appreciate it. Also, if you missed our look at the first issue of Profane, then please go ahead and click on the card up in the corner and go and check that out for yourself before we jump into this one. Profane number 2 is written by Peter Milligan with artwork from Raul Fernandez. It is coloured by Giada Marchisio and has lettering from Jeff Eckleberry. The issue begins with Profane telling a story of him on a case for the Tempest family and trying to find the Maltese bull, which has been in their family for over 200 years. He's managed to successfully find it and returns it to the beautiful Valencia Tempest. As he begins to celebrate with her, his old enemy, the Red Glove, appears and pulls a gun on him. Red Glove then takes Profane out onto the balcony to finish him off, but Profane attacks him and they end up in a fist fight with each other. However, this fight's broken up when Valencia comes out onto the balcony with a gun herself. Red Glove tells her to finish off Profane, and Profane realises that he's been played. However, we then cut to find that Profane is actually reading the latest Will Profane story, which was left on that cliffhanger in a printing for a magazine. Profane begins to feel like Schrodinger's cat, both alive and dead, as he stands next to the murdered body of his writer and creator Spud Coltrane. And there's no sign of what he planned to do in the next issue. He believes if it's anywhere, then it would be in Coltrane's notebook. Unfortunately, that has gone missing. Enlightened with the knowledge that he is actually a fictional character, Will Profane seems to understand the world on a bit of a new level. He's very aware that he lives in fiction, a place between reality and unreality, where fictional characters go about their business, and that if he wants to solve Spud Coltrane's murder, then he's going to have to go to non-fiction. For a fictional character to go to non-fiction, they need a sponsor, and you can only find a sponsor one of two ways. You can either use hallucinogenic tobacco that gives you visions, or you can use Profane's preferred method, which is watching television. After watching a few hours of TV, Profane finds the perfect candidate, the president of the Will Profane fan club, Egbert Big. We see that Profane is able to appear before Big like a ghost or an astral projection, and he explains the whole situation about the murder and why he needs to come to non-fiction. Profane also tells Big that he can be of help to him, but that this is going to put him in danger too, as Profane's enemies are going to come for Big to try and trap Profane in the non-fiction world and stop him from coming back. Big, however, acknowledges this and accepts the risk as he wants to help. He wants the chance to help Will and help his hero to do something good. Profane then begins to put together a list of possible suspects for the murder. So far, that list includes Ken Kane, a rival author, Honor Diath, who Profane had an encounter with and is the one who is taking Coltrane's notebook. It's also revealed that she happens to be a character of fiction herself and is a character from one of Ken Kane's books. Coltrane also had two ex-wives that had pretty messy breakups with him, and they may be a possibility for someone who would come after him. And then lastly is Egbert Big himself, who, as the president of the Will Profane fan club, may have killed off Coltrane before he had a chance to kill off Big's hero. Profane also attempts his scrying technique again, trying to gain a little bit more insight into this investigation, but the only pictures that he seems to see are of Lily, the woman that he had previously met when he talked about Coltrane. Profane goes to see her at the club she works, and the two of them seem to really hit it off. That is until Profane asks if she is responsible for killing Coltrane. She takes this very badly and reacts super negatively to this accusation and storms off. Profane tries to stop her and grabs her arm, but this goes badly for him as one of the bouncers intervenes, takes Profane out into the back alley behind the club and leaves him beaten and unconscious. Lily finds him however long after he wakes up and apologises to Will for what happened. They go for a drink after and they actually do connect a little bit more. Following meeting with Lily though, he decides to head to Ken Kane's house to try and look for some more clues. But the only thing that he seems to find is the glove of Red Glove. But before Profane can do anything with it or look any further, he is pistol whipped in the back. Fortunately for Will though, pistol whipping someone in real life isn't quite as easy as it's portrayed in fiction, and in the process of pistol whipping Profane, Kane shoots himself in the leg. As Profane interrogates Kane, Lily comes in with a gun pointed at him. He tells her she doesn't have to do this and that she can create her own destiny, but she says that it's not that simple. And realization begins to set in that this also might be a work of fiction too. I was very excited to see where this story went. The noir-style mystery with the twist that the protagonist is actually a fictional character, and he's the one that has to solve his creator's murder, is an amazing plot hook for the end of the first issue. But I have to be honest, in finishing issue 2 I feel so confused about the story and how it fits together. I don't know if it's intentional, as it plays with our perception of what's real and what isn't, kind of like what Profane is going through himself. Or if there are just questions that we're left with and that we won't get answered until we go through the next 3 issues to the end of the miniseries. But I was left feeling like things didn't quite add up. The main thing that threw it off for me was Profane saying he lives in fiction. That's where all the fictional characters do their business, and to get to non-fiction, he needed to get a sponsor. This alone and how it was addressed across the rest of the issue was the main cause of my confusion. If Profane had just been in the world that Coltrane was writing his story in, and it just so happened to be the real world, then that would be one thing, but this separation makes so many interactions in the last issue and this one not make sense for me. If Profane is in fiction, how can he go to Coltrane's house or to Ken Kane's house, as they're both authors that live in the world of non-fiction? If Profane's in fiction and talked with Lily previously, wouldn't that automatically mean that she was a fictional character too? Why does Profane need to seek out a sponsor to get to non-fiction so that he can investigate the murder, only for him to have seemingly interacted with things that, in this issue and the last, without a sponsor seemingly affecting anything that happened? They take the time to make it clear that Profane requires this sponsor too. But if you legitimately removed the TV watching section and the talking with Big section out of this issue, it honestly doesn't change anything. The rest of the issue flows the same, it doesn't affect the narrative in any way, it doesn't have any impact at all. I just hope that as confused as I felt at this, that in 3 issues time when we get to the end of it and get to the conclusion, that it will all come together. And it may just be one of those stories that you need to read all at once to truly appreciate it. As for the artwork in this issue, it's still amazing. No change from my feelings in issue 1. We get phenomenal art, amazing colours that really do feel gritty, but also have an amazing pop of colour that just jumps off the page at you. For my final thoughts, I was honestly let down by this follow-up issue after being intrigued to see what happened after issue 1. I'll definitely be checking out the rest of the series with high hopes and hoping that they're going to be able to pull everything together, but this may just be one to hold off on picking up until it's collected together either as a trade paperback or until you can get all 5 issues. But that's it for today. Have you been reading Profane so far? What do you think of the series and what do you hope to see happen in the next few issues? What other comics would you like to see us cover here on the channel? Leave it down in the comments below. Also, if you're interested, be sure to check out our Patreon where you can get early access to our reviews and our Indie Comic Book Club before they release here on YouTube, as well as some exclusive content specifically for our supporters over there. And if you enjoy the content here, did you know we also have a gaming channel where you can go and check out reviews of the latest and greatest video games and tabletop games? Why not click on the links down below and go and check out those videos as well over there. But that's it from me for today. Take care and remember, it is a good week to be a geek. Peace.